Hello everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. We are here for the 110th installment of the Talk That Talk Show, and you guys are still here with me, still want to check me out on Friday nights? Well, I'm so happy that you're here. Shout out to Hawks who's here on our Instagram live stream. But, overall, it's been a really hot week, man. I tell you what, especially from working in the days with Tim, when I get the chance to work with him, it definitely gets really hot up in that sweatshop, man. And, especially coming outside and when we've seen that, especially like today, I think it was like 95, 96. It really I think today was the first day for me where it really just truly felt like summer, and I just wish that I was on the beach. But hopefully in these next couple days to come, I'll get a chance to get my first chance out there at the beach, because everybody that knows me in all of my walks of life, I've been a huge fan of the beach. I love going to the beach, but sadly enough, with all the things that I've been going through and trying to get grinding and trying to get popping off, it just hasn't left me much time to relax on the beach. So I'm definitely going to challenge myself within this next week or two to try and get my toes in the water and try and get some relaxation in. But because of the fact that we've been grinding so hard, guys, I got a lot to be proud of, a lot of progress that's been made over these past couple days as far as different ventures that I've been going off into. But the main staple has just been consistently grinding, no matter what challenges come in the way, just trying to find a way. And I think that a lot of times we get so accustomed to certain things going our way, and sometimes the grind isn't exactly appreciated, and I was making a joke to my friend a little bit earlier, but I was pretty much saying that I'm the type of person that I like to roll with the flow and not complain about the process. And I feel like especially at this point in time, there's not really much I can complain about. A lot of the things that have been going well have been going very positive for me, and that's a true proponent of what I believe in doing the right thing, and good things will happen to you. So like I said, it's been a great week, and I was just so excited to come here on the mic and just spend some time with you all here. Shout out to my sponsors, my boy Timmy Hugel over at Ink Parlor, helping people to pretty much put some OGs into motion that I've been able to do, and my boy Rob, who had his merchandise popping off. Tim has been doing some great work, so if you guys ever need anything custom or any type of apparel wise for your merchandise, please hit him up. I'm telling you, he does great work over at Ink Parlor. Also want to give a shout out to my boy Joe Snow and Maria over at New York Life, helping people to get their financial freedom every single day. Also want to give a shout out to Air We Are, helping people to get their heating and air conditioning needs done over here in the South Side, man. We got a lot of talent out here, and a lot of resources. And part of the reason why I have these sponsorship deals is that you all can be able to use them as well too. And I also want to give a big time shout out to my boy Savion over at Sky-Dye Socks. Any type of tie-dyeing or custom stuff, please give him a hit up over there, because I tell you what, he's putting out some hot stuff, and I put out some hot stuff as well too. And it's when you're in good company and when you're in productive company, a lot of great things happen. And also want to give a shout out, he's tuned in here, my boy Javi Caps. I'm going to get into a little bit about some of my hat journey and some of my hat cops from the week. But Javi's been somebody that I met at a previous hat drop before, and a lot of times people talk about being outgoing and being receptive to opportunities, and just from me and Say being at this hat drop, we got the awesome opportunity of meeting this guy Javi, and pretty much just chopping it up about hats, and just about some of the things that are going on in the hat game. And you wouldn't think that this hat game is just such a big thing, but it really is. And over the past couple of days, I've met some really awesome people as far as making different sales and trades and acquiring different hats. And it's been an amazing road for sure, especially with this Catmaster B account that I've had. Please follow me over at Instagram, Catmaster B. But like I said, long story short, Javi was somebody that we were sharing various information with, and now when I wasn't able to go to a certain drop, he was able to secure it for me. So if anybody is looking out for some capsule hats, I know they're dropping an amazing lavender colorway this I think this Saturday. Hit up Javi_caps on Instagram, and he should be able to secure that drop for you. But like I said, we've always been complaining about the bots that have been happening in the hat game, and just how much things have changed over the past couple weeks. But or even months, I should say, because of some of the release drops before. But there's no defense to the bots when you have networking, and I feel like over these past couple weeks, I've just really been adding to my network of hat and exchanging and everything, and it's really worked out well. And everybody that supported me over on my Cat Master B page, I appreciate you so much. Even the people from out west, from San Diego, that copped hats from me, that dropped a couple pins in for you guys. You guys followed right up and followed me. So, you know who you are, guys. I appreciate you so much. And, the amount of support that I've had, both just not even on this podcast, not even just with Cat Master B, but just any type of venture that I've done. I feel as though it takes me back to a conversation or should I say a workshop that we had at one of my previous jobs. And they said the only thing that makes leaders is the fact that they can get people to follow them. And I think that, to get someone to follow you, it takes a huge amount of responsibility to not only uphold that relationship, but also to uphold your core values to make it a worthwhile relationship, And I think that, over the past couple, decades or however long I've been on this earth, I've been blessed enough to have the people skills and the communication skills to be able to get people to follow me. And I think that, I do accept that responsibility with a huge, just a big burden, because at the end of the day, you don't want to lead people in the wrong direction. And I really feel that, my core values are the things that I hold true to make me who I am, are part of the reasons why people feel trusted to follow me or to believe into me and to do these ventures. I mean, Kevin Schaefer came and met me at the Garden right before the playoff game, all the way from uptown. And, it's that type of respect that I get from people, and that continues to make me go forward, continues to push me forward, and motivate me to do big and huge things, man. So once again, shout out to my boy Javi Caps for coming through with the hat assist. And, just extending it beyond hats, anything that you do want in life, you're going to have to use some sort of networking. So whether you're that person that's a little bit shy, or whether you're that person that maybe isn't as comfortable enough reaching out to people, don't be afraid to extend that hand or to see, what else is out there. Because if you don't use those communication skills, you're never going to know what type of opportunities are out there, man. And like I said, I've pretty much established a great, relationship with MyFitteds, and, especially having a brand that's, come from New Jersey and are putting out amazing, dope hats. I had to go right on board with copping some of these dope hats that they had. But I'm going to get into it real quick, some of these hat drops that I got from MyFitteds. And guys, just get ready for the heat, because this shit is flames. So the first one that I had to cop, you guys know me, I definitely like the storyline, like I said, that goes behind hats. And this hat was actually modeled after a book. I think it was called The Magic Tree House, for those that know. But this is actually a St. Louis Cardinals with an old Cardinals logo. I mean, this is absolutely fuego, guys. And, you might have seen this colorway maybe with Hat Club with the watermelon. But I think that this green is a little bit of a more... It makes the red pop a little bit more. And then we see they use the old 1957 All-Star Game patch here. I mean, this is absolutely flames, guys. And you're not going to be able to find this, pretty much anywhere with this colorway. And you have the nice stitched-in Batterman here. But the best part of it, like I said, is that red that pops, and it just makes this bird just pop out, especially with the gold accents, man. So I was super hyped to get my hands on this one. But... we all know I'm a Mets fan. I have this Pro Image hat on here. Shout out to Pro Image. I was a little bit disappointed at what they had to offer for this Saturday. So I'll be taking a break from going to Pro Image. And that's the thing. I feel that a lot of times, sometimes people are hat slaves. They're slaves to just one hat brand, or just because they're putting something out, then they got to cop it. You got to have your own eye, and you got to have your own perception for saying, yo, this shit is hot. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we're in the era now where, just because it's Hat Club or something like that, people just assume that it's hot, rather than looking to the time that it took into making the colorway, into making an actual, a scheme, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, Hat Club is doing their thing, but, there is some great other competition out there. So don't just like a hat just because it's Hat Club or just because it's MyFitteds. Look at the hats and look at the story behind them and see, maybe I like that, maybe I'll cop that. But, knowing me, you all know I'm a huge Mets fan, so I had to cop the cilantro green Mets hat from MyFitteds. It has the orangeade logo here. And my favorite part about this hat is the patch. Very underrated patch here, where we have the 1969 World Champions, the amazing Mets patch. I haven't seen this I don't think I have even seen this on a Mets hat before, so this was an easy cop for me. Again, we have the stitched-in Batterman logo on the back, along with the cilantro green underbrim as well, too. We've seen a real resurgence in green brim hats, man, and, I like I said, when I saw this hat, it was an easy cop for me, because I like the different concepts that come behind it, and to see, MyFitteds use the cilantro green because a guy likes cilantro on his tacos, it's pretty interesting, man. But the hat of the week, if you're, I know everybody's talking about the Panic, or, the one hat that I saw everybody was going crazy for from MyFitteds that, I was so blessed to get my hands on. But this is this Raph Simmons A$AP Rocky inspired Seattle Mariners hat here with the canary yellow underbrim. This is absolutely fire, guys. This is fuego. We have the 2001 All-Star Game patch. It just really pops, man. And I feel like, especially with the hats and the way that different colorways are being designed in this new age hat game, a lot of people want to see the colors pop, and you want to see how they're blended together. And I think this is a great example of the direction that the hat game is going in right now, with the patch selection and also the colorways to try and make it pop, man. And, that was a hat I have not seen before, man. And I was, like I said, I was blessed to be able to get my hands on that. And Javi said, that is Panic, yo. So, yeah, thank you, Javi. Shout out to you. But Javi was actually somebody that I was able to hook up with a shirt here. And again, I'm super excited to share with you all here that the OG12 has officially released, all right? The OG12 has officially released, man. So, like I said, it's been a long time coming. This was actually something that I had in the works, but I didn't exactly tell a lot of people about. I kept this under wraps for a long time. But, one of the things that they say about success is that, you have to have a plan to be successful. And oftentimes, I think that when it comes to creating merchandise, and especially for people out there that are tuning in from the hat game or tuning in just in general looking to start your own merchandise, but the key thing is to really look and see, what is it that you like, man? You don't want to put your name on a brand, or you don't want to put your face on a brand of something that you don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to really take my time to see what direction I really wanted to go with this drop. And, through thinking about it and talking with my boy Tim, I was tired of doing the same shit. I had done a t-shirt before, I'd done hoodies, I'd rocked out with that. But, I really wanted to challenge myself and see what I could do differently that I hadn't done merchandise-wise. So, ultimately, we're talking with Tim actually back in May. So this was about a month and 2 months of advanced planning. And, I pretty much worked it out to where, I could get these shirts so that they could drop right before the 4th of July. Because like you see me in here, I'm sweating a little bit. I think I got to hit up Air We Are. Maybe they got to check us out. But, with it getting hotter out, and I mentioned it earlier on in the show, you're not going to want to see yourself in some bulky t-shirts or some bulky stuff for too long. So, I present to you the OG12 here, guys. This is actually going to be the tank top Talk That Talk Show shirt with the cherry red and then also with the American flag in the background. Guys, this is absolutely fuego, man. Shout out to all the people that have supported so far in this OG12 release. Like I said, I'm very blessed to have people that want to support my show, that want to rock my merchandise. And guys, it's not going to stop there, man. I think we have, definitely have a lot of sizes still left and available. So if you do want to have those suns out, guns out, right? If you've been in lifting and you want to get the arms out there, I got these OG12s for you. We're going to have you right for the cookout. You'll be very patriotic, and because listen, we're gonna be outside, man. So if you want to be outside, we got the perfect shirt for you. So please message me at _Talk That Talk Show on Instagram. Message me at _ Barry Buckets or at Catmaster B on Instagram, and I'll figure out how to get to you a shirt, and we can get this shipped out to you very quickly, guys. Like I said, and thank you once again to everybody that has supported. Shout out to my boy Dave Stoleness on Facebook Live. Shout out to Wilson Cody. Shout out to my boy Ishabod Crane. My boy Eric Rivera over listening in from California. Guys, I'm very blessed to be here. And, as much as I love to talk hats and about my merchandise, you all know me from being a sports reporter, and I got to get into some of this sports heat that's happened. But one of the crazy things that I saw in the news headlines was the fact that we had an all-NBA snub. And, out of all the players that we could think of, you think, who was that all-NBA snub, right? And sadly enough, I have to say it, guys, but that all-NBA snub was Russell Westbrook. Now, some people may be shocked, but I tell you what, I'm not shocked that he's not an all-NBA player, and I'm going to tell you why. Even though the man averaged a triple-double, I mean, guys, what more can he do for that team? Have you seen that Washington Wizards roster? Oh my gosh, that roster is a skeleton-depleted team that I don't know how they limped into the playoffs. I'll tell you how they limped in. Russell Westbrook, right? And what he did was by averaging that triple-double, he vaulted that team into playoffs. And granted, they won one game in the playoffs. They didn't get swept. But, it's hard to find what Russell Westbrook does on a day-to-day basis, man. And it leads me to believe, how can a guy like that, get snubbed on the All-NBA team? Well, if you think about it, this was actually the first year in a long time that Russell Westbrook was not an all-star. So the writing was kind of on the wall earlier in the season when we saw that he wasn't voted as an all-star. So when you have a guy like him who wasn't voted like an all-star, is not getting the gratification, he's not getting that notoriety for doing such a tremendous feat like that and for breaking the record of, most triple-doubles, it kind of leads you to think, well, shit. What do you want from this guy if you want an all-NBA player, right? We have Zishan who says he's a stat padder. And you have other people that truly do believe like that. And when you think about it, it's like, okay, if you don't have those stats to try and make this person an all-NBA player, then what criteria do we have to judge this person to make them an all-NBA player? And one would easily say winning, right? Well, we can't really use that argument if you think about it, because the all-NBA first-team players, you have a Steph Curry who averaged 30 points per game or something like that, but his team didn't even get to the playoffs. They just went to the play-in round, but yet he's an all-NBA first-team player. You have a guy, Luka Doncic, who was a first-team all-NBA player who didn't average a triple-double, but is still an all-NBA first-team player and didn't even make it out the first round either. So if we want to talk about empty stats, there are definitely a lot of empty stats within that all-NBA first team, right? So we can't use the winning argument. And if we're saying that the stats are padded, then what criteria does Russell Westbrook not meet, right? I mean, in the only way, like I said, the only way to really break this down or to make some sense out of this is that really comes down to a popularity contest. Because we all know that Russell Westbrook is not the most popular player in the league. You look at Hawks, who says Trae Young got snubbed too. At first, I would have said, yes, you're right. But look what he's doing in the postseason. Look what he's done for that Hawks team. It's hard to see players like that don't get the notoriety that they should because of the popularity of other players. You know what I'm saying? Does Russell make the players around him better? Honestly, I have to say, in this season and definitely in seasons past, yes, he has, because you look at that Wizards team and what are they? They're not even winning 20 games without Russell Westbrook. I promise you that. Granted, I truly do believe in winning, and I do believe that Russell Westbrook has had, his problems with winning in the postseason and having that postseason success. But when you look at other players within that team, like a Steph Curry who made the All-NBA team, first team, I don't think he made that guy Nico Mannion any better. If you talk about Luka Doncic, I don't think Luka made Tim Hardaway Jr. any better. I just think that, when we come down to these end of the season's awards, and you talk about LeBron James, who was bounced out of the first round, had his injury problems, and was still All-NBA second team. So there's definitely some criteria issues that are within the voting. And then you think about, okay, well, who were the other the third team players that were better than Russell Westbrook? And it's hard to make the case that they weren't better than him, right? Because they had certain success. So you have a Bradley Beal, his own teammate, got picked over him because Bradley Beal is averaging 30 points. You have a Jimmy Butler, playoff Paul George, Rudy Gobert, and Kyrie Irving. You're going to have a hard time making a conversation for Russell Westbrook when you have those type of players above him. But you have to really understand and really signify what is the defined criteria of an All-NBA player, because when I look at people like a Steph Curry or a Luka Doncic who have those quote-unquote empty stats, you can't use that same argument then for a Russell Westbrook whose stats really weren't empty if he's averaging a triple-double with a bunch of nobodies. You name me 3 players on the Wizards besides Bradley Beal. I'm still waiting because I don't know anybody. I'll tell you that right now. But you guys see me here. You see me, and I got my big Mets attire, and especially in the bowling alley, I get a lot of questions because I have my Mets stuff on, and I'm a huge Mets fan. But one of the questions that I've gotten asked about a lot is, what's going on with this Jacob deGrom? Shout out to my boy Mookie. He says, shout out to you, Mookie. Thanks for tuning in, bro. And keep doing your lives, man, because you're killing it too. But one of the things that I have to say is that these Mets have been playing very, very well. And a lot has been, especially in that series against the Cubs, where they picked up a couple good games and got some confidence-boosting wins. I was actually at the game on Monday where I was able to catch this nice shirt. But like I said, one of the things that I've been asked about so much has been what's going on with Jacob deGrom. And we saw in his last outing, he pitched very well. I mean, very solid. He was going, I think he had 8 out of 9 strikeouts, but they pulled him after the third inning because of shoulder tightness. Now we hear that he's not going to miss his next start. He's just going to take it day by day. But, what I tell you to you is this, man. You're playing with a dangerous hand when you want to consistently throw him out there knowing that, something just might not be right. I mean, even with him, and the most dangerous thing is that, he looked great. I mean, striking out 8 out of 9 guys in a perfect 3 innings. You're thinking about much bigger, but, only he knows his body, and he had to tell somebody, yo, guys, I'm not feeling too good here. And if this is a constantly reoccurring issue, regardless of how well he's pitching right now, we have him signed for a long time. And what we've seen is, in other sports as well, when you continue to try and bring back that star athlete too quickly, it can be problems for you. I mean, look at Kemba Walker, who I'm sure he loved playing, basketball, but he was sidelined and shelved for most of this year and the year before, and his stay in Boston wasn't that great. And maybe Boston has something to do with that by bringing him back before he was ready. But what we've seen here is that in multiple sports, when you bring back players, especially with KD, when he was on the Warriors with that Achilles, when you bring back players too quickly, you're really riding a dangerous, dangerous path. And, I love Jacob deGrom. He's going to arguably go down as one of the greatest pitchers of all time, of my generation. He's been pitching out of his mind. I mean, the guy's got an ERA under 1. But with all that said, he means too much to this franchise. I'm not going to say this season. He means too much to this franchise to have him maybe eventually get a Tommy John surgery eventually down the line because they wore him out on some, July, June games, I just really want him to, as much as I don't like, as much as we're in the pennant race, as much as, we are contenders, sometimes you got to shelf the best guy even though he wants to be out there. Because I'm sure Jacob deGrom, wants to be out there. And I'm sure he didn't want to pull himself, but he knows his body. And, if this is becoming, like I said, a reoccurring thing, I would entertain even sitting him for a month. You know what I'm saying? I'd say, hey, let's shut you down for a month. Let's get some tests here. I know you want to be out there, but you mean too much. We are paying you X amount of millions of dollars to represent this franchise beyond just this year. Please, let's make sure that we can get this right. We have Eric that says, that's true. Thank you, brother. And you have Hawks that says, you're up six in the games on the Braves. Let him rest for a couple weeks. Yeah, I believe so, Hawks. I mean, you got T1 Walker who's been pitching well. You have the bullpen who's been stepping it up in whatever time that they've been asked, except for my boy Trevor May. Whatever he's got, where he's tipping pitches or something, please get it fixed, man, because, let's put it this way. When I was at that game on Monday, and I think it was Peterson had such maybe he was pitching one-hit ball going into the 6th inning, and, May gives up 2 dingers, back-to-back. And, I don't know whether he's tipping pitches or whatever, but granted, we were up 4 runs, but, Trevor May is going to be coming to a situation again where he's going to have to shut out the side, or he's going to have to get some key outs, not with a 2-run lead. So, I'm going to be really hard, pause on Trevor May because, it's those type of relief pitching that killed us in last year, and it killed us in years past. And this is the relief pitching that we have this year to where it's kind of been a strength. So I just want to be, really clear that, the pitching has been well. But Trevor May, you got to step it up, bro, and don't tip those pitches. Because if Jacob deGrom is going to be shelved for at least like a month or so, you're going to have to see some of those guys maybe getting some bullpen games or, some spot starts. So, let's see what they have to do. But on top of everything else, and the one thing that I definitely wanted to, end everybody with thinking with, is this one thing that's happened from Cole Beasley. And Cole Beasley, if you all don't know, he used to play wide receiver for the Cowboys, and he's a wide receiver now for the Buffalo Bills. But he's definitely showed his distaste, his unsatisfaction for the new COVID updated rules in the NFL. And, I wrote them down because I wanted you all to really, see just the change that the NFL is going to make to try and make sure that they can beat this COVID and get their players out there. And what we've seen, like I said, is people like Cole Beasley who are in utter outrage and saying, who voted for this? But first and foremost, vaccinated players, right? So Cole Beasley is someone that is not vaccinated, and he's saying, and what he said in these, tweets that have been semi-cryptic or out there in the face, but he's pretty much saying that, the NFL is establishing these rules in place that pretty much make it impossible for you to not even be a part of your team without having the vaccination. And I've said before on, multiple episodes, it's okay that, people like this vaccine, that, it's good and hopeful for people and it's providing, good results. But you have people out there that do not want to get vaccinated, and you have to normalize that. But the problem is a lot of people don't have that, because they've gotten vaccinated, they see it as a necessity for others. And I saw it at the bowling alley where, damn near everybody in that bar didn't have the mask on, but I had my mask on trying to order a drink. And the one girl asked me, she's like, yo, Barry, you didn't get vaccinated? What are you doing, bro? Like, don't you want to not have a mask on like me? And had she had said something else or some sort of other clinical explanation or something, I could have been like, all right, you know what, you got that. But just the fact that people are getting this vaccine so they don't have to wear masks, it's very interesting, man. It's a slippery slope. But I say that all to bring you back to what Cole Beasley said here. And these are the stipulations that are now in place for people that are not vaccinated. There needs to be testing every single day. So we understand, just how important it is. But if testing needs to be done every single day, I don't see why that applies to someone that's vaccinated and someone that's not vaccinated. Because I've seen in my own life, people that have been vaccinated that have gotten COVID as well too. So, just as, everyone is susceptible to getting this virus, whether you're vaccinated or not. It's just a matter of, if you are vaccinated, it's going to be less of a strain on you if you do get it. But, testing will be required every day. I think that should go across the board. If you're doing it one, do it for the other. But the next thing that we have is, you must remain physically distant from others in the facility. So if you have 38 people that are vaccinated, you need to be that one person standing right over there, not with everybody else. And, it seems crazy, but these are the things that are put in place. Another thing that you have, travel restrictions, right? So say your star player, Julio Jones, is not vaccinated. He can't take the trip to Green Bay now because of travel restrictions. These are the things that are in place. Then, on top of that, now these first three, I can understand it. I'll say, okay, this is for player safety. This is so players don't catch COVID, all right? This is good, right? Now you have no social media, marketing, or sponsorship activities permitted. So tell me, how is that okay for someone to not have those type of monetary opportunities because you are not vaccinated? That's crazy, guys. I don't know if you see this, but this is crazy. And then also, you may not leave the team hotel to eat at any restaurants at all, anytime, if you are not vaccinated. So, I understand protecting players, and I understand that, but what I see here is not a protection of players. I see a protection of property. And we always talk about this, about how, there's always a struggle between, big-time organizations and the players, because you even had someone like a Kyrie Irving who says, yo, we're not property. And you have a Doris Burke who said, well, when you sign that dotted line, Kyrie, you are property of that team, which may be true. But, I think that oftentimes we forget that these athletes are people, and that, the things that are in place, are put to protect and to keep these players and athletes safe. But then there's things that go a little bit overboard, and you think, are they really protecting the players, or are they protecting their money? And I think that that's a little bit like Ish said, that's OD. And these are the things that are in place, and that's why Cole Beasley is like, who voted on this? Because here you have a guy who didn't even see that there was a player's vote on this. It was kind of just cast on him. And I take this big step because you know me, I'm always about thinking about the bigger picture. And the first thing that I have to think about is like, holy shit, if this is going to happen in the NBA, you don't think that this could potentially happen as a trickle-down effect out here? I mean, we talk about travel restrictions. Are there going to be travel restrictions in place? We've already seen in the stadium in certain games that you can't sit in sections if you're not vaccinated. Guys, we are living through modern-day segregation right before our eyes between the vaccinated and the non-vaccinated, bro. It's you have Dave who says clearly designed to force the vaccination, which is true, Dave. Like, all these things that are in place are forcing these players. It's pretty much saying, if you want to live your normal, whatever. And I actually talked to a guy, Justin Gallup, his father, shout out to Dan, but he was pretty much saying that there is no normal now. There's a new norm every single day. So guys, we're not going to get back to a normal. There is no normal. But the thing is, and what you have to be receptive to is, just make sure that you are making conscious decisions for yourself. It's the same thing like I said with hats earlier. If you're a fan of a Pro Image hat, fuck it, wear it. Just because it's not Hat Club, it doesn't matter. If you like that hat, wear the hat. And in that same realm, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then don't get it. If you want to get the vaccine, then get it. Everyone has their own reasons. But it's not right to then force those things and to try and create and disturb the environment around people's living spaces and the way that they conduct their lives to force you to make a decision that you don't want to do. And, these rules that are being put in the NFL, guys, these are things that are happening. So if you think that shit won't happen to us in this society around us, guys, just keep your eyes open, be receptive to what's going on, and keep a sound mind, Keep a sound mind, because that's one of the most things that's very underrated is for people to be able to make sound and smart and clear decisions, right? So whatever your decisions may be, stick to your core values, but don't feel pressured by any single person to do something that you don't want to do. And, I think that's a great segue, guys, because nobody's forcing me to do this shit. I want to come here every week and talk to y'all. And one of the things I look forward to is always doing a nice review with you guys of whatever alcohol that I'm drinking at the time. And right now, I've been on this binge, this seltzer binge. You guys have been with me for like the past month, 5-6 weeks, where I've been drinking all the seltzers in the world. But, this one, I think they called it a flavorful tropical cocktail. It's by Corona Refresca, and this is passion fruit lime. And a lot of times with these seltzers, like I said, the taste of them can be a little bit bland. But I think with this one, with the Refrescas coming from Corona, at least with the ones that I've had before, they've been very, very flavorful and something that I've enjoyed, having those flavors, right? Shout out to my boy, Dat Boy Herd. Follow him on Instagram, DatBoy_Herd. He's hilarious. He has some great sketches over on TikTok. Please check him out. But thank you for tuning in, brother. But, this is what I'm going to be reviewing today. It's called a Corona Refresca. It's called a passion fruit lime. Imported from Mexico. And I'm trying to look and see how much % alcohol we have on here. But I'm thinking this is somewhere in the 5 to 6. Okay, here we go. We got 4.5% alcohol. So this is it's not gonna punch you right in the face, but if you have 1 or 2 or 3 of these, it'll get you to where you need to go. Z said, is that orange mango? No, Z, this is passion fruit lime. So I've heard that the orange mango is very good. I might have to check that out next time. But this one right here is what we have, the passion fruit lime. If you guys have your drinks out there, please put your drinks up. I appreciate and love every single one of you for tuning in with me each and every week. And the shit ain't stopping, guys. Here we go. Guys, that is really refreshing. Especially when you mention the word Refresca. It's just really refreshing, man. I'm when you take a drink, especially if it's seltzer, sometimes I feel like I can't really glug it down. Pause. And I think that part of the reason why that is because, like we said, of that bland taste, or the fact that it might have that too much carbonation. But just from literally taking some sips of this shit, I tell you what, guys, this is definitely something. If I'm going to the beach, I can see myself getting some Refrescas, putting those in the cooler, and saying, "Yo, crack one open for me." Cheers to you, Eric. And cheers to everybody that's tuned in on our Facebook and Instagram Live. It's been a great episode. We've been rocking out. You guys got to check out our website, talkthattalkshow.com. Make sure you check out our Instagram, _talkthattalkshow. Check me out at CatmasterB. I'm always posting all the new fitteds that I'm copping. Some of the stuff that I have for trade and for sale. The vibes. Shout out also to our other page on, I think we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Any type of streaming platform, we're on it. And if you want to, and for those people that are out there, I've seen we're in Idaho, Utah, California, Nevada, Texas we saw, Montana. If you guys are the people that are listening in, downloading this show, and that have helped me to get to now, close to 16,000 downloads, please tune into our YouTube. Subscribe into the YouTube as well, too, guys, because, there's so many avenues, so many channels for you to check out. Shout out to my boy Josh Palazzi, DJ Joshy P. Really gets me through those long days at work. And yo, before I end this, I'll say one thing, all right, before I end this podcast. I'm so glad that you tuned in, Josh, but one of the things that we had towards the end of one of the last days where we were in the shop, he goes to me and they pretty much mentioned this joking thing. I thought they were joking, but they're like, yeah, let's go take some BP, let's take some batting practice. And I'm like, you know what? I think these guys are joking, bro. I don't know, but I pretty much like juggled it in my mind for like probably most of the day. And then, like, it became, like, a reality when I came in the next day, like, oh, shit, these guys are serious. They really want to go batting practice. So I said, fuck it. I'll go out there and do it. I hadn't swung a bat in over, 10 years. And like I said, I've always mentioned before about on this podcast, it's always about, like, challenging yourself and doing some shit that you don't think you can do. And, I've been known for playing basketball. I played in college. I'm known for my hats and stuff here, bowling, whatever the fuck I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of stuff. But, one of the things that I haven't done in a long, long time was swing a baseball bat. And, I proved to myself and also to Tim and to Josh that, I can hit. Josh says it on the Facebook. He goes, Barry hits. And, I proved that to myself. And not only to Josh, and even on the video, it's funny. You can hear Tim say, Barry, for not swinging the bat and how long, I'm impressed. And it's those types of situations that, it doesn't, I wouldn't say it's the motivation for me doing things, but what I will say is that it definitely makes things more gratifying, right? Like, it's always an inner struggle between ourselves as far as what can we do or what we think we can't do. And as long as you can put out of your mind that can't, then there's no telling what you can do. And that was a proof to myself to be able to hit the ball damn near 300, 350 yards from never swinging a bat in a long time. It's been a long time, man. And I can definitely see myself, going out for some more batting practice with Josh and Tim and, challenging myself, a lot more. But, like I said, to everyone out there, don't be afraid to challenge yourself and don't be afraid to find out what is it that you can do, right? So once again, this is the Talk That Talk Show.
Talk That Talk.
Every single Friday night, just like Admiral says, it's like riding a bike. I love you all. Shout out once again to my sponsors, Air We Are, helping everybody with their heating and air conditioning needs in the South Side. Shout out to my boy Savion Gaynor over at Skydive Socks. Shout out to Tim over at Ink Parlor. Excuse me. And finally, shout out to Maria and Joe Snow over in New York Life, helping people to get their financial freedom daily. Guys, don't be afraid to reach out also and get yourself an OG12, okay? These are not going to be around for too long. You know how the releases go. If you don't hop on it quick, it's going to be gone like that. So once again, thank you so much to everybody that tunes in. This is the Talk That Talk Show. I love you all, and I'll see you next week for episode 111.